everyone and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new speed build video. Today I am very excited because I am building something that I had never done before, and that's a community lot, specifically a restaurant. Yes, even though I love building in The Sims, I never attempted to build a community lot. It's crazy, but it's true. They always seemed very scary to me for some reason. Maybe because it goes out of my comfort zone. It's not like saying I'm building a different house style. I can't do that. But building something which requires a complete different layout and the use of stuff and objects which I never used before. It's something different, and I was scared I would never be able to combine the furniture and the things, stuff properly. That might be stupid, but that's how I always felt about community lots. But today I'm stepping out of my comfort zone and I'm bringing to you guys a waterfront coastal inspired restaurant. You know, I thought if I have to step out of my comfort zone, then I want to do it with something that I know I'm going to enjoy building. And I think I've expressed my love for coastal style building for a very long time now, so I decided to build a coastal slash nautical themed restaurant. Also, I was very inspired by the position of the lot that I'm building on because it's the 40 by 30 lot in San Sequoia, and it's the very long one next to the recreation center and on the opposite side of the splash pad. It's a really nice area, but the thing that drew me to this lot is the fact that it's by the sea. In fact, from here you can see the coast and the ocean, and I thought that was really nice. I told myself it's the perfect spot for a coastal inspired restaurant or a coastal inspired lot in general. Also, San Sequoia used to be a small fishing village once, and for this reason I was inspired to add coastal but also nautical designs which would incorporate old pieces that maybe belonged to the previous owners who were fishermen. But then throughout the years, this place was fully renovated and it's now a modern restaurant, but which kept some of the old charm and some of the old nautical pieces, but also incorporated more modern furniture and became more coastal themed, which is a more contemporary style, I think. In fact, you'll see that on the inside, I'm gonna add fishing nets as decor pieces on the walls. Not many, but I think enough to bring that old and more nautical charm to the inside. On the outside, instead, I decided to use that big sign from City Living, which has a fish on it and it's like an arch. And I thought it was perfect for a place like this. I thought that maybe that was the old sign which the owners decided to keep as an oath to the old days, but it has been repainted and now looks more fresh and new. Also, that sign glows at night, I think, so it looks kind of cool. And speaking of that sign, it took me so long to find it because there's one from Cats and Dogs which is identical but doesn't have the brick pillars, and I really thought that even this one was from Cats and Dogs. So I kept looking through the Cats and Dogs debug for this item to then realize that it wasn't from that pack. I thought I was going crazy because I was like, I saw it before, why I can't find it now? In the end, turns out it's from City Living, which I thought was super weird given the fact that there's an identical one in Cats and Dogs. Obviously, since we're building a coastal inspired restaurant, I had to go blue on the outside because that's the color that for me represents the style better. And I went for a mix of two different wallpapers. The one with panels is from Growing Together, and I'm very happy with the shade of blue of that swatch. I think is really what I wanted. Then I matched it with siding from base game. I know it's not the same shade of blue, but I think it still looks good. I didn't want to go for the same shade of blue because otherwise I could have used siding from Growing Together, which comes in the same shade of blue, but I thought that a slightly lighter touch of blue looked a little bit better. In terms of windows, I mix and match different ones, and surprisingly they're all from base game. And I decided also to use the windows with shutters because I thought they looked a little bit more traditional, and maybe they were repainted in that bright white. But the owners again decided to keep the original windows with the original shutters because they give a more traditional look to the entire building, I think. And one of my favorite things of this building is the big deck, which will have seats, but we also have a little patio area, which I made using the awning from the Desert Lux kit. And if you're like me and don't like how the awning looks by itself, I have a little tip for you, which helps to create, in my opinion, a cute little patio. So, what I do usually is to build a platform on the upper level and then fence it with that low line fence from Get to Work, I think. And then I put trims all around. Then, what you want to do is delete the inside part of the platform, and you have just a frame. And then you want to raise the awning and fit it into that frame. And I think like that, it looks so much better. It has a little more extra structure, and you can also then add columns to create a very cozy sitting area, in my opinion, and you'll see that I'm gonna put like a couch and the fire pit from the little campers kit to create a cozy area down there where maybe at night when temperatures decrease, Sims can sit there and relax, roast some marshmallows, and just tell stories. That sounds fun to me. The entire idea for this place was to create a space for Sims of all ages. So during the day, maybe this could be a restaurant or a stopping place for families who come here from the splash pad and are hungry after a day spent playing. So they stop here for lunch, they relax a little bit, they eat good food, and then they go back home. But then at night, this place can become the spot where younger people hang out. They maybe grab a drink at the bar and just sit on the deck and hang out with friends and just listen to some good music. As I said, that big deck is my favorite part because I imagine that Sims sit there and enjoy the beautiful view of the sea, of the entire coast. Another thing I added to help to create that atmosphere, especially at night, not really during the day, but especially at night, is string lights. I thought they were the perfect object, the perfect thing to add for a place like this, and I placed them everywhere basically on the outside. I also used the one from base game which have shoes hanging, flip-flops hanging, and I love how they look hanging from the awning. I think they bring that beachy vibe a little bit more to the building. Also, I really like what I did on the other side of the building. We have what I imagine to be the stop entrance. So over there, we have the staircase to access the second floor. And the idea was that only staff could access that, because basically you'll see, but I put a staircase which leads directly to the bar upstairs, and there's no other way to access the bar. And also over there, I'm gonna put the dumpster, which is the perfect spot for me because it's hidden and only staff can use it. Also, there we find the door which accesses the kitchen. I really like how the front looks, but for once, I also really like the back of the building. In the back, we have like the open kitchen, and I imagine that in the back, your Sims can just grab a quick meal. Maybe they're just walking by the coast and they stop there to grab some fries or a fish sandwich, but they want to eat it maybe in the car or while they're walking. So that's why I decided to have the kitchen open like that. And I know it doesn't function the way I am imagining. It's not something that Sims can actually do in the game, but I just love the concept. It looks cute in my opinion, also with the little menu next to it, as if it's like a takeaway menu. Or also, I put some more seats in the back, still imagining that maybe they get a fast meal and just sit there to eat it, but it's more like when you go to a cafe and you don't really pay the service, as you would do if you were sitting properly at a table in a restaurant. Also, in the back, not far from the lot, you can see there are some cars parked under the trees, and I really like to think that maybe those cars are customers' car who park there and walk to the restaurant because there isn't a proper parking lot there. In the back, we have the big open doors from the Desert Lax kit. Either that door or the big sliding glass door from Eco Lifestyle. They're always present in my buildings. That's because they are so good. So I know you probably have seen them a lot, but honestly, if you use medium height walls, you have no other option, to be honest. The other ones, which look good, are too short and leave too much space at the top. And I don't really like that. Anyway, I really like the idea of having those two big open doors in the back. Those doors, in my opinion, flood the dining area on the inside with light and airness, and also they allow guests who sit inside to have also a view of the sea. And I use the same door on the upstairs to access the deck because, again, I wanted a big door which also brings a lot of light into the bar, which you'll see is on the second floor. On the deck, as you could see before, I built a custom pergola using, again, the low-lying fence and trim and columns. I basically did the same thing that I did to create that patio area with the awning, but instead of using the awning, I drew lines diagonally using the fence, and then I placed some low-lying bushes on top, and I really like the vibe. It's really cozy in my opinion. It's a really nice spot to just sit and have drinks. There's also another oath to the village, which is the big Angkor statue that I put on the side of the lot. I wasn't sure if I wanted that thing, and I'm still not sure, but I didn't know what to do with that empty side, so I just went for it. But at least it fits the vibes of the building and of the world as well. Also, I made a little pathway on the side using a rug from Get Together. It's not really a rug, but you can find it in that category. It's more like a piece of stone, but it's really nice for creating pathways. And I thought it was cute. There's a little pathway between some palm trees, which leads to the main focal point of the place, the Angkor statue. I also absolutely love the look of white fence from Eco Lifestyle. I never used it, but in that white swatch, it almost brings a beachy vibes to the place. To add like a nautical feel, I put the ship helm in the front of the lot. I was really looking for everything in the bag and not that I could use that was reminiscent of naval ships that I could use on the outside and on the inside too. And I have to say that cats and dogs really helped me a lot. It has a lot of stuff in that style. You just have to be patient and dig through debug. Also, the restaurant sign that I put above the front door is from Cats and Dogs, if you saw it, and I really like it because it's a live buoy and it's perfect for this place. And I really like how it glows at night, so it adds some light when it's dark. Also, the writing on the wall glows at night, but that's from Dine Out, and that could be like the name of the place. And it's in Simlish, but it looks like there might be also a number or a year. And I imagine that it says something like since, I don't know, 1920. And that just adds to the storytelling of this building, which, is an old one that was renovated. And also for this lot, most of the landscaping is debug. The palm trees are debug. And at the end of the video, you'll see me doing more landscaping using debug trees to make the side of the place blend a little bit more in with the surroundings. So, for that, I used a lot of debug from growing together. I also tried to add some red touches on the outside by putting some red awnings on the windows. Then we have the red from the umbrellas as well, which really pops out next to the blue and white of the building and ties in the red from the brick as well. I really like that. I love the colors of the coastal style. They make the building look so fresh and light. Speaking of red, I was very close to going for a red roof. I really was about to paint the roof red. I didn't do it, but I thought it looked good, but I felt that maybe it would have been a little bit too much, so I went for a muted red instead, which looks more like brown, but it has like a red undertone or like maybe a more orangey undertone. So yeah, on the outside we also have some sittings in the front, we have some tables with two seats, and also there are a couple of benches just to switch things up. I really liked the one with the red umbrellas, but not everywhere, just a couple in the front, and then we have other benches in white. But I really like that we have flowers on the tables, and I also put candles on the tables outside, so at night they really create a really nice atmosphere, in my opinion, together with the string lights. Then moving on to the interior of the place, I used a lot of half walls to create some separation. So we have the host section where there's the entrance and the host station, and then we have like a taller half wall which separates a little bit the entrance from the actual restaurant. And then there's another section which is gonna be like a little corner for the waiters to grab like coffees and drinks, more like beverages, not really drinks, because for that we have the bar upstairs. Now we can see better how the inside looks with those big sliding open doors, and you can see that they really make the interior feel fresh and open. The overall effect is sunny and soothing, light and airy, in my opinion. Of course, I had to use a new wallpaper from Growing Together. I used it in my previous speed build video too. White sidings are perfect for a coastal themed restaurant, so I had to go for it. And I matched the white swatch with the blue one to create some contrast with some accent walls in and there in blue. I think that to create a very soothing seaside atmosphere, you have to use white and blue sidings. That's a must. It's just a perfect combination. And to bring that coastal feel, I really try to use all this seascape art decor that we have. For example, we have that fish sculpture from Dine Out that I put on the half wall in the entrance, which brings, I think, elegance and movement and really pops against the blue siding. And then still in the entrance we have that cabinet from Cats and Dogs, which has like nautical decor and trinkets. And I honestly wish we had blue striped rugs that I could use in here, but we don't. So I went for that rug from City Living, which I think the default swatch doesn't do justice to it because it's ugly, in my opinion. But there are other swatches which aren't too bad, and I found a swatch which almost looks like seashells, and it was blue, so I thought it was the perfect rug for the entrance of this building. Maybe it's just in my head, maybe they don't look like seashells, but that's what I see there. So just let me believe that the pattern is seashells. Then I put those boards from Tiny Living, and I know they look more beachy, but I like how they look there. And this place really is a mix of different styles. We have the coastal and the nautical and then beach style. Also because there isn't enough stuff to decorate the whole place with just one style. But then moving on to the other area surrounded by half walls, there is like for waiters to make beverages because in this restaurant we serve espresso and other hot beverages as well. So we need like a bar for that, but not a bar where you order drinks because that's upstairs. But this one is like a coffee shop type of bar. So we have that thing, like a cabinet from high school years, I think, or Discovery University. I don't remember. I always confuse the two, but it's not functional. It's just decorative. And we serve espresso here, but I forgot to put in an espresso machine. You know, watching this video, I realized that I forgot some things like the espresso machine and the speakers for the music. And I forgot to finish the landscaping with terrain paint. But don't worry, I will add them so you can have them if you want to download this restaurant from my gallery. The thing is, I was very tired when I built this because I had to build it twice because my OBS decided to crash more than halfway through the recording. So I was a little bit frustrated, but I tried to see the positives of the situation. For example, my previous attempt, if we want to call it like this, didn't have that sign in front of the building. And I think I like it more like this. Sometimes it's a good thing to have the chance to rebuild something because you get the chance to see the building under a different eye. Because sometimes when you are building, you get fixated on things and you sort of lose the ability to tell if something looks good or not. Sometimes I will get very fixated on swatches and would overthink the swatch that looks better. I would lose the ability to tell which one looks actually good. But then after a few days, when I look at the screenshots, I'm like, oh, that color didn't look too bad as I thought. So sometimes it's nice to have the chance to adjust things and see them with a different eye. I have had a lot of tech issues in the past and I used to get so stressed about it, but then I learned that it's not gonna help to cry or get angry. The only thing you can do is to stop complaining and just do the work. Because you don't want to waste your energies on being mad about the situation because you can just use those energies to get the work done. So that's the lesson that I learned. Anyway, back to the building. As you could see, I was like furnishing the main dining area before, and I decided to also use benches on the inside too. I thought it was nice to be right in front of those big doors, and I specifically went for those benches because they have the blue pillow, which I thought was so cute. Also, the blue pillow matches the blue on the other chairs. Even on the inside, I tried to embrace the coastal decor ideas and a color scheme which includes different shades of blue, white, and gentle neutrals like the wooden floor. I think it really helps to make the space feel fresh and light, and I really wanted to make this place feel like it's really a waterside location. And I really wanted to hang like a life buoy on the walls, but it comes with island living and I don't have that pack because I haven't bought it yet. Together with Get Famous, those are two expansion packs that I am currently missing. Let me know in the next sale which one I should buy. Let me know also if you like those or if you're not 100% sure about those two expansion packs as well. I'm also very curious to know which one is your favorite expansion pack. Let me know in the comment section below. I'm very curious because I know everyone has different opinions on packs, and I would love to know which one you like the most. So anyway, overall, I really like the main dining space. I tried to mix and match different table options. So we have the benches, and then we have the smaller white table from Snow Escape, and then in one corner we have that tall table which requires stools, and I wanted to include a mix of different tables. And also that tall table looks so good in my opinion. I love the finish of it and the texture. I wish that we had more table with that wooden texture. And then we have like the decal on the blue accent wall, and I thought that thing was nautical enough to be put there. I think it's like a compass, but it's very nautical, so I had to include it. I also put on the pillar in the middle of the room a fish poster, and I think it's like a list of the different kinds of fish. You know, it's a seafood restaurant after all, so it fits perfectly in my opinion. And then, as I mentioned, we have some fishing nets on the walls just to bring more nautical decor to the room. The bathroom instead might be my least favorite part of the building. I debated a lot whether I wanted to use that wallpaper or not, and in retrospect I shouldn't have used it probably, but I was very drawn to the fact that it has waves but it's not tile, so maybe it doesn't look too good, but at least it makes the room very bright, and it helps because there's just a small window in there, so there isn't much light coming in. Also, I put the changing table for infants in there, and it's the first time that I use that object, and I was very excited about it. I know it's not normal to be excited about using a changing table. You know, that's the power of The Sims. Also, I feel like I didn't decorate the bathroom enough. I wish it was more decorated, but I didn't really know what to put. Also, I was scared that by adding too much, I wouldn't have made it functional. That was actually my fear throughout the entire building process. I was scared that the main requirements weren't functional. So I didn't clutter it up too much, so the Sims have a lot of walking space. And moving on to the upstairs of the building, we have that part where the staircase is, which brings a lot of light because the walls are covered with those large windows, and I really like that. And then the upper floor is so much smaller than the lower one, and I wanted to have that part open to below because in my opinion helps to bring in even more light. And also I didn't need as much space on the second floor because all the sittings are on the deck. Here we only find the bar where the Sims can sit and have a drink. And as I said before, I imagine that this area is more crowded during the evening when young Sims arrive at the place and sit on the deck to have a drink. Inside, however, we also have plenty of sitting space. In fact, there are plenty of stools to sit inside too in case the weather outside is not the best. I really wish there was a more nautical wallpaper to use on the second floor. I tried to do a custom wallpaper by putting those decals from the bathroom clutter kit, which have like fish and whale swatches, but it looked too childish in my. It wasn't the look that I wanted to go for. I felt like the look of the building is more sophisticated, so I just used it in the bathroom as it should be because it's from the bathroom clutter kit. However, I put those little tables from Tiny Living, which look like they're made of fabric and have a blue pattern, which looks so nautical to me. And the bar is my favorite part. I like the wooden column, which creates a cozy space, and it also helps to break the white and the blue color scheme. And I like how it creates this bar area which is more closed off and creates two nooks where I put the shelves from base game with bottles on them. The counters and the bar counter are both from base game, and I went for those because I really wanted blue counters, but I didn't have many options honestly. They are the ones from Cottage Living and Parenthood, which have like a navy blue swatch, but they look more rustic. Also, I don't mind a lighter blue in the room because it ties in the blue details from the curtains. And also, I really like the bright white countertop. I think that's super cool. It looks super clean. And I put on the counters some clutter, like some menus and the utensil clutter item. And I was kind of pretending that they're not really utensils for cooking, but it's cutlery. And then we have like the ketchup tray on one side, because I imagine that people who eat there don't want to be too formal, even though the stools that I put look a little bit too formal with the gold finish, but they kind of look good. And I'm obsessed with those tools from Growing Together. And the kitchen is the last thing that I did because I had no clue how to do it. I don't even know what a professional kitchen looks like, to be honest. It's very hard for me to picture it in my mind. And so I just put some base game counters and I tried to keep it very professional and almost sterile looking. I didn't put tile, but I used concrete. I thought it looked better. It just contributes to provide that clean look that a professional kitchen would have. But yeah, beside that, one cute touch is the board from Parenthood, which I put next to the door, where I imagine there be things written for the staff, like shifts, working hours, and stuff like that. With that, we are coming to the end of the video. So I would like to thank you guys for the support on my previous speed build videos. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, please leave a like and hit the subscribe button. As always, I would like to hear your thoughts on the building. Also, let me know if there's a particular house or a particular community lot you would like to see me building next. And I'm going to end the video here, but it's not over yet because there's gonna be screenshots after, so keep watching for those. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!